Hey guys, if you happen to be on or logging on, we're just turning everything on, making everything work. Let's see if I can, yes, I see some of you are here. Do me a favor, oh, there we go, no video, so we will turn video on. Hello, everyone. I'll take my hair out of my shower hairdo. If you're on, come into the chat for me, do me a favor. Just say your name, say where you're from, say who you are. Tell me maybe what your favorite writing prompt of this challenge was, would be a good feedback for me and my team. I am here in my own writing studio. Often, if you've seen me teach before, you've probably seen me teach in I have a video studio downstairs in my home with like lots of pretty colored books behind me. This is actually the place where I do all of my own personal writing. So I thought, it seemed really appropriate to do today's live session from here. Hey, Joellen, awesome to meet you, awesome to hear about you. You know what? The posting is totally optional. That's just a thing you should do if the spirit moves you. I feel like you should give your credit if you read the prompts, yourself credit if you even read the prompts, then definitely give yourself credit if you write to the prompts, or if you free write, or if you write on a project for work or whatever. Hey, Gypsy, awesome to meet you. Hey, Rosalind. So so what I'm asking folks to do is just come into the chat, say hello, tell me where they're from, and share anything you'd like to share about your experience of the writing challenge, including if you had a favorite prompt or if you had an aha moment. Things that, if you know what else I'm really interested in is, we're all now, let me rephrase. Few people are setting resolutions anymore. Most people are now setting New Year's like intentions. And then, if you're like me, which I bet most of you are, you're setting intentions all day, every day, all day, every day, all day, every day. So if you had like a particular theme word or intention for this year or this month or this writing challenge that you set, that you feel comfortable sharing, I'd love to hear it. So I'm just going to check and make sure that we've brought the folks on Facebook along with us. As you know, some of you who've done the writing challenge before know, we used to run the writing challenge in a big Facebook group. We've decided to move the challenge community away from Facebook, mostly because so many of you are wanting to use your writing to replace an unwanted social media habit with a wanted writing habit or upliftment or daily ritual. So we moved it. Let's see. I love Sheila's asking a question. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Rosalind. Hey, Linda. Hey, Sandy. Yes, 3 things rather than a long to-do list. What do you do with the piles of free writing that build up over the years? Okay, I will try to get back to that question at the end of this. Let's see, Joellen. If you have your chat box open, which you must to be typing, you should be able to see. I'm not sure exactly why you wouldn't be able to see what other people are typing, but you know what I'm gonna do in any minute, I'm gonna welcome in my helper, Sabrina, who will come in and she can maybe help you troubleshoot that a little bit. So again, as you come in, please come into the chat, open it up, say hi, say who you are, say where you are. If you had any favorite prompts or you had any favorite aha moments from the challenge, I would love to know about them. We will probably get started maybe 3 or 4 minutes after the hour. And we have a lot to cover. I have so much I want to share with you guys. So one of the reasons I started doing some of the programs, the deeper programs that I do, is that it felt like the challenge wasn't enough. It felt like the challenge was the beginning and not the ending of a journey. And so, I will share with you, I'm going to share a few things with you about my own story, my own journey with writing, my own journey of transformation, and what you can do to take some next steps on your own writing. And then we'll talk about some of the ways that we could work together if you wanted to continue the journey here with me and with us at SoulTour. I love this. Hey, Kendra, nice to see you here. Gypsy is declaring an intention to work on a commitment to herself. I love it. Roseanne. Everybody give it up for Roseanne. She's done the challenge. She's tried to do the challenge several times. She's thrilled to have made it to day 9. I love this. And I also love that we're learning to be forgiving and gentle and easy with ourselves. One of the things I'll tell you, I'm not sure how much we'll talk about it today, but one of the things that I've learned over the years is to trust in divine order and timing, to trust that my process is unfolding exactly the way it needs to unfold. And sometimes, to Roseanne's point, that means that you do the challenge one time and you write once. You do the next time you write twice. Maybe you don't, maybe you're not ready, or maybe something cracks open in you. I've had several emails like this. People experience transformation in the second day. And then they're like, wait, I got to go live this part of my life out. Right. And then they come back and they come back. And that's the beauty of having your own daily spiritual practices. You get to come back to it fresh and new every day. All right. Javette is saying, no problem, Javette. We'll see you next time or on the replay. Sabrina is here and in the chat. She is helping the folks who are having a hard time seeing their chat settings. So there's that. Let's see. Linda's been writing 5 days too. Sandy, a new story of ease. And that's right. You get to come back whenever you're ready, whenever it feels right. That's, someone said something to me about feeling bad that they hadn't continued writing. And what I said to them was, some of my favorite books that I've ever read in my life were books I never read all the way through. Because I got to chapter 2. And in chapter 2, I got a word for my life, and I started changing things and doing things and incorporating that reading into my life. And so I actually didn't need to read the rest of the book right then. And some of those books I've come back to 5 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later. Those are the kinds of books, I'm going to share some with you guys about my program, the School of Upliftment. We read a different book every month. We study a book together every month in the different areas of our lives. Those books tend to be the books that I personally have come back to over and over and over again at different places in my life cycle, at different places in my transformational journey. Yes, Joella, many books started but not finished, but you know what? Finishing the book isn't the objective as far as I'm concerned. Getting the growth out of the book is. And sometimes you can get that out of writing for 2 days or reading 2 chapters or whatever it is, right? So we're part of what we learn in the challenge and in the school is to be gentle and easy with ourselves and let our transformational journey play out. Okay, you guys give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna go grab my cup of tea. Hey, Terry. Hey, Sheila. 9 days, Sheila. Awesome. Hey, Sandy. Yes, awesome. Okay, so I will be right back. I'm gonna grab my cup of tea. And then I'm gonna share a little tiny guided experience with you that's very like what I do every day when we teach in the School of Upliftment. It's just a little tune-up, little energy tune-up, and then we'll get started. All right, I'll be right back. And actually, let me leave this here for those who may come on while I'm gone. Be right back. All right, I said right back and I meant right back. All right, what time is it? So we'll do this for just maybe 1 more minute. We'll give people to come on. Again, this is Tara-Nicholle Nelson. I'm here to thank you for your presence and your energy and your spirit and your participation in the writing challenge. I'm here to walk you through a tiny bit of my own writing journey and story of transformation in my real life. I'm also here to help you think through and understand some next steps for your own writing journey and your own transformation, including I'll share a little bit with you about our own programming so that you can decide whether you'd like to go deeper in a journey with us. Let's see. So what I'm asking is, as people come in the chat, I'd love for you to just say hi, say your name, say where you're from, and let's see. Oh, and if there was any particular like aha moment that you had, let's see, if you had an aha moment, if you had a favorite writing prompt you want to share, anything, let us know in the chat. There's a little kind of rollicking conversation starting over there. All right. So Kendra likes the little, okay, Kendra, so on your chat window, you should be able to move around. If you click on the top of it where it says Zoom web chat, you should be able to move that around the page so it doesn't cover anything up that you want to see. Claudine is saying she's completed her day 7. Brilliant. Francesca also hasn't done all of them, but she's happy to have done 5, and some of her favorites were the consciousness crones and what's your game name, which is one of my all-time favorite video prompts too. Amanda's here working on a screenplay. Lovely. Darlene, hello. Okay, Kendra's saying she's not able to move her window, which is not great, but most of the time we'll do this setup that you see right here, Kendra, so you'll be in good shape. Nemeka's from New Jersey. She actually checked, yes, great. So this is her second time signing up, first time participating all the way through. And Catherine in Ontario, Canada has done all 9 days so far. Awesome. So, as we go, you guys are welcome to continue chatting. You also should have a red and a green button in your chat boxes in the top left if you'd like to close out of chat. Some people like to because they find it easier to focus. If you want to participate in chat, I'd love to see you there. If you want to ask questions, every once in a while, we have a lot to cover. Every once in a while, I will drop back into the chat. Let's see what else we need to know. I think that's gonna be good for now in terms of instructions. Let's just do it. Amy is here. Amy is one of our delightful, she is a student in the School of Upliftment, which I'll tell you a little bit about today. She's also one of our moderators. Sabrina, who's also one of our moderators, is here in this session. Terry from Cincinnati. Kendra's also from Canada. Crystal, also from Canada. Awesome, guys. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it, shall we? So as I said before, this program, the Writing Challenge, actually gave birth in my heart and my spirit to a program called the School of Upliftment, which I'll tell you more about in a bit. In the School of Upliftment, we definitely get deep and we definitely get, the School of Upliftment is about spiritual connection. But it's a home to and a school for people of every faith and people of no faith. Like we have spiritual but not religious people. We have atheists, we have humanists, we have Jews and Christians, and we're all there together connecting with whatever is greater than us, connecting with all that is, and connecting with each other and reconnecting with ourselves in a way that unblocks us and allows us to move forward in life freely and easily. So we gather online in the school, and when we do, I usually start our talks with a little blessing where I just kind of declare my intentions and put a blessing on the time that we spend together. I open up this time as a sacred hour or a sacred space, and then we do some declarations all together. That means that everyone in their own space, in their own home, just like you guys are today, people close their eyes, and there's a point in the opening where I will say, if you'd like to repeat after me, you can, and then you can repeat after me or not. You can just listen, sit, take it in. It'll tune you in and tune your energy up in a really nice way. So this hour is really a time of connection and a time where I intend for us to all expand in freedom, growth, and joy. That is my intention for this time together. So no distractions. All right, it's time to shut everything else off and turn off all the distractions. Shut your door if you can. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb if you can. This is a little time to devote yourself to yourself. So I'm going to start this now with a blessing that I used in the school and some declarations you can repeat after me in your own space if you'd like to tune you up. You're welcome to, I invite you to close your eyes. You don't have to, but I invite you to close your eyes and take one deep breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Today we give thanks for this perfect day. We look forward eagerly and excitedly and with great expectation for the wonders that are before us. We open our hearts and our minds to receive every divine resource that is flowing to us right now, knowing that we are magnets for divine love, divine intelligence, divine prosperity, divine health, and divine wisdom. That is who we are. We approach this day and this hour and increasingly our whole lives with a radical acceptance of who we are. and with radical surrender to divine order and divine timing, which are real and always in our favor. We are learning that even every delay is beneficial to us. We invite divine order and divine timing into our lives, and we watch with wonder as a divinely laid, perfect plan and path into our visions and desires and dreams and goals lights up before us, allowing any resistance we've ever had to any element of the divine plan for our lives to dissolve and dissipate right here and now. We speak and flow a blessing over our families, our children, and our loved ones, past, present, and future, that every cell of their bodies and spirits may be infused with infinite intelligence and well-being. And we extend this blessing to our finances, our creative projects, our bodies, our workplaces, our towns and nations. We extend this blessing to our entire beautiful planet, and we flow this blessing over all beings in this world, blessing every cell of every body with limitless love and with our intention that all beings be happy and free. May our brains come fully online. May our minds come fully alert and into this present moment. May our souls be awakened even 1% more by this time we're spending together, and may our hearts be receptive as we gather together and learn today. Now, if you'd like, really briefly, repeat after me, right where you are. I love and approve of myself. I am blessed with supernatural wisdom, and I have clear direction for my life. I give thanks for this perfect day. I look with wonder at that which is before me. Let the genius within me now be released. I'm ready and I'm willing to release old limiting patterns. Limitations, lack, and delay now crumble away. I choose to see it as a treasure when I discover something new to release. I see and feel myself changing moment by moment. I love life and it is safe to live. All is well in my world. All right, guys, slowly and gradually come back into the room with me. Open your eyes in your own time. I'm gonna keep going. You guys, please feel free to say in the chat how you feel, how that landed with you today. All right. So, what I want to do is just share with you really briefly how you'll know if you're in the right place today. You are in the right place if you took the writing challenge and you wrote every day, or 7 of the days, or 1 day, or maybe if you haven't even started writing yet, you're still in the right place. You're in the right place if you know that you're an uplifter. You feel that in your spirit, that you were born to do something great or to be great, and you're ready to start receiving that greatness. You are in the right place if you would love to have a more confident and less limiting mindset. You'd love to upgrade your thoughts and your emotions and your actions. You love that feeling of clarity and calm and confidence, and you love to feel that every day while also feeling just connected and tuned in. All right, and you're in the right place if you have goals in your real life too, right? One thing that you'll hear as a theme of this is spiritual is important, it's necessary, and so is practical, right? Like, we live in this world right now. So if you are in the right place, if you also have real world goals for your real body, your real bank account, your real job or career, your real spiritual practices, your real business, or maybe even a book or blog project, you are in the right place. Some of these bonuses I may also actually have sent out, but because someone has just asked, I'm going to just share that if you stay on to the end, I will send out these things. I will send out some of the daily declarations. I will send out a packet of daily declarations that are some of the very foundational ones we use in the School of Upliftment. It's not like the full big sets, and those people in the school get a new set of declarations every month for the specific topics we're working on. But I will send you some of the foundational ones, which are very like what we just did. And I'll send you some resources for setting vision and intentions and goals that are really deeply transformational for this year. All right. Now, I'm an intentional kind of gal, so I'm going to state that my intentions for you today are to understand what things you could, some takeaways from the challenge, learn a little bit more about my writing journey, learn a little bit more about my life journey, how I came to know what I know, and share with you. We'll talk through some next steps for your writing journey and your life journey, and then I'll issue a special invitation. Then at the end, I'll take questions until we're done. All right. My bigger intention is actually less about what I say to you and more about I want you to feel. I want you to feel confident and equipped to step into your next season, creating the different areas of your life consciously with deliberate intent and focus and purpose. I want you to feel more clarity and expansion and joy and confidence as we move forward in this hour and as we move forward out of the writing challenge. I want you to feel inspired and on fire and momentum and freedom and growth and joy. And particularly, I want you to feel the freedom to start bringing all of who you are to this world. All right? All right. If that works for you, say I in the chat or raise your hand. It's hard for me not to make things into songs because it's fun. Okay. So awesome. You guys are down. Let's do this. Let's see. Oh, so takeaways from the writing challenge. Let's see. I have a slide for this, but I don't know where it is. So takeaways from the writing challenge maybe I don't. Takeaways from the writing challenge. You are not bound by your past. Big takeaway. You are fresh and new every day. You are fresh and new every moment. And this is like a beautiful paradox. I won't even get into the whole paradox because, guys, I'm getting warmed up. I can feel it. I'm feeling it. You are also eternal, right? Like your soul is eternal. The ingredients of your body are eternal. But you are fresh, who you are, who you can be in this season of your life, in this world, in this realm is fresh and new every day. You are limitless. You came here as a child of the divine. You came here exactly as you were supposed to come here. There is nothing wrong or broken with you. The things that you feel like are your problems are really just part of your process, okay? So takeaways from this challenge. It's time. It's time for you to begin or to continue maybe what you've started, which is a process of unrepressing yourself, bringing 100% of yourself out. You are a child, you are a being of infinite intelligence and creative power and limitless love. You are that. It's time to set down what I am calling our struggle portfolio. It's time to stop retelling those same stories. Remember the 3 times a wrap thing? Let's stop retelling those same disempowered stories that keep us small and stuck because they feel comfortable or familiar, right? It's time to stop adding to that wiring and start remodeling our stories, start upgrading our stories, start choosing stories that align with who we are now and who we are becoming. That's what we practiced in this challenge. Oh, it's time to start practicing receiving, coming out of that cultural lie that says you got to do everything the hard way and you're here all on your own and you don't get permission to feel worthy until you write a book or until you earn a certain amount of money or until you get married or until you lose a certain amount of weight. Lies. Okay, you are worthy now, today, with no further changes to who you are. And it's time to start practicing that total trust in life, total trust in the divine, that ability to start receiving versus forcing, all right? It's time to start practicing pronoia, guys. We learned a new word, didn't we? It's time to start practicing that everything is really always working out for you, really. So that's what we practiced in this challenge. I think some of you who are new to me also saw, you've maybe only gotten one of my newsletters. Every Tuesday I send out a Transformation Tuesday newsletter. You got the one from yesterday. I usually write them in almost real time. So I usually write them no more than a day in advance because what I am feeling, what's trying to be, I tap into the wisdom that's trying to come through me in that moment, and I send it out, and every time I get emails back from people saying, I needed this word right this moment. So now I'm sort of like, I trust and rely that that's how it goes. So that's some of this stuff is also what we practice doing in the newsletter. This is all definitely what we practice doing in the School of Upliftment, which I'll tell you about in just a moment. Remodeling and upgrading our inner well-being. Remodeling and upgrading our inner well-being. So let's see if I can tell you a little bit. This is some of the things that have happened in my own life because of my own daily writing practice, which was the cornerstone of a set of spiritual practices and strategies that I do. I lost 60 pounds and I kept it off for about 20 years. I created my own whole fleshed out morning ritual, which I'll share a little bit more about with you. I got out of major debt and doubled my income several years in a row. I've bought, multiple homes and turned them. This is actually my writing studio in my house right now. Let's see, I fell in love with that dude right there that you see. I've just created, I've written 3 books. And each one of them leveled my career up in a way that's so powerful. I never could have even thought it up if I had tried to. I've earned multiple 7 figures of income without actually planning line by line how to make that happen, okay? And more importantly, I found my voice. I released my childhood old repression stuff. I learned how to speak up and say what I mean and ask for what I need in a powerful way. And these are just some of the other, I've had pieces appear in Harvard Business Review. The only thing on here my mom really cared about was giving the commencement speech at my alma mater and appearing in Essence magazine. Those were her 2 big ones. All right. So, I just wanted to share a tiny bit about who I am. Some of you know me, many of you I'm new to. You may have only even known of me for, 11 days or 12 days. So I want to share a tiny bit about who I am, and then we'll start going through some okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do next? All right. I'm Tara-Nicholle Nelson, and I am a creator. That is how I primarily identify. I am the founder and CEO of a company called SoulTour. We are a personal growth school and spiritual community. Our primary program is called the School of Upliftment. And in the School of Upliftment, people change their lives. These are just some of the things that people say have happened for them within a 30-day period of time after the school. There's all kinds of stuff about being more likely to take action and be creative and do their creative projects like books or blogs or starting businesses, or even just leveling up in their career or their clarity. People say they're more motivated and they've accelerated their progress on their goals. But the 2 I care about the most are the 2 at the end. 92% of people 30 days into the school say their self-worth and self-love have increased. I care about that. And 100% of them say that the school helps them stay consistent with their morning ritual or do other self-care activities more frequently. All right, before the School of Upliftment, I was an entrepreneur in residence for a venture capital fund called Lightspeed Venture Partners. They were the first investors in Snapchat. Before that, I was the chief marketer for MyFitnessPal, which is the world's largest health and fitness app. If you know what MyFitnessPal is, feel free to say yes or I or raise your hand. If you don't know what MyFitnessPal is, it is the world's largest fitness app. So when I was there, we grew from 40 million to 40 something in there, million customers. And I was there through the time that we were acquired by Under Armour in maybe 2015 or 2016. I can't remember exactly what. So I'm an uplifter, just like you guys are. Let's see, do I have that? I've worked most of my career in transformational brands and companies like MyFitnessPal, Trulia before that, HGTV before that. But I also, and I was an attorney before that, and I hold a master's degree in psychology. So that's like what you need to know about my educational background. I consider myself a long-form woman living in a short-form world. And what I mean by that is I am a digital person, as you know. Most of my career has been in digital, but I love to write. And writing for me has transcended being an activity. It's actually just part of who I am and the air I breathe at this stage of the game. It's my it's like a body part almost to me. It's how I process the whole world. So as a long-form woman living in a short-form world, I've written 3 books. My last book, probably is somewhere here. It's called the Transformational Consumer. It's a great book for someone who feels that their work, their career, their business is sort of like the way in which they'll show up in the world as an uplifter. But I also, and I'm a spiritual strategist. So what I mean by that is I think we are all here for two things. We are here to live in freedom, growth, and joy. Big, that's the big one. That's my strategic objective. So I believe deeply in spiritual and practice and do spiritual practices, but I only teach things that I believe will ultimately get us to more freedom, more growth, and more joy. And the way that freedom, growth, and joy should show up in your life is through more health, more wealth, more wisdom, and more self-expression, free-flowing, creative self-expression, to the ability and power to turn your ideas into real life things in parts of your life. All right. But I'm a stack of miracles. So I know my life is beautiful. But it's been a journey. So let's see, I'm 43 now. 25 years ago, I was a teen mom. I lived in Bakersfield, California. I was raising my kids. I was still in college. I was still able to continue going to college with the boys who you see there in the upper right. And I just had, you can see my before weight loss picture down in the bottom right. I had a lot of childhood trauma and pain and repression inside. My parents were equal parts wonderful and, struggling with their own as yet undealt with wounds. Let me say it that way. But I was smart and I was driven and I had a deep desire for things in my life to be different and better than they were. I wanted to feel powerful and more. I wanted to have financial, well-being. I wanted to feel better in my body and I wanted to create things. I had ideas for how the world could be different that I wanted to share. I wanted to have a career that really suited me and I wanted to unlimit my earning potential. I wanted to be in love. I wanted to have a beautiful home. All the things, do you guys want those things? I want those things. And so I had a sort of set of very specific things I wanted to change in my life. And what I did was almost treat it like a strategy project where I listed out the things and turned them into goals and started pulling every individual lever I knew and micromanaging my life. I would read books and magazines and I would create vision boards and I would learn about life hacks and I would read every book on habits, on willpower. And I decided I would just bring my strong will and discipline to bear to fix my life. And it worked. Actually, I got married a couple times that way. I lost a bunch of weight that way. I got divorced a couple times that way. Went through law school that way. But the truth is that I was really using my inner pain and feeling, I'm going to call it what it is, which is a trance of unworthiness, that feeling that unless I was perfect and beyond critique, and unless I accomplished all of this long list of things, that I really wasn't going to be okay. I was using that pain to power rigid self-discipline. And it worked to get me the goals that I wanted, but the struggle felt so real, guys. It was hard. Every day was hard. And when I would achieve my goals, I didn't feel good. I still didn't feel better. Every time I would achieve something, I'd be worried about the next thing or worried about this thing falling apart. I always felt like I was behind, always. No matter how much I accomplished, I felt like I was behind in life. I always felt like there was a little tiny something wrong with me, even though I was getting really good feedback from the outside world. And I had to prove my way out of that. I lived in chronic fear of being depleted because I was doing so much. I was doing a mini coaching session, a speed coaching session yesterday. And the woman said, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this. And I'm actually, your prescription for the week is to do way less. Do less, allow more. So, and I know from experience. So back in those days, I felt tyrannized by time. I felt tyrannized by my restrictive approach to food. I felt like I had to be perfect. I felt like there was always a catastrophe around the corner. I felt like I was always holding my breath. And then 2008 came and the shit really hit the fan where even though I was doing everything right, there was a recession and I was in real estate and it was bad. I lost my house. I got divorced. My kids started acting real crazy. My brother went to prison. Let's see, it just was intense. And, and I was 35 and I kind of was like, you know what? I took stock. It caused me to take stock. It caused me to take stock and to like actually fall to my knees and start praying, just help. Anne Lamott has written this beautiful tiny book called Help, Thanks, Wow. She says those are the only 3 prayers you ever need to know. Help, thanks, wow. And I was in a help moment. So I just knew that I started to put together the practical pieces of my life, but I needed more because I knew that I could fix all of that stuff and I still wouldn't feel good. And I wanted to feel better inside. And I wanted to know something about how the universe worked. And I just needed like help living my actual life, to be really honest. I knew there was more than just achievements to check off a list. So I started praying. Then I started writing and writing and writing and writing. I haven't stopped. Then I was writing, occasionally. I think I've written about something every day for the last 7 years. Let's see, then I started meditating just to feel better in my own skin. I started studying all kinds of different spiritual, I had grown up very deeply devout, Baptist, actually, in a deeply devout Baptist family. And I went to a Bible school growing up. So I knew a lot about the Bible, but I also started to study and incorporate other wisdom traditions as well. And I would get these moments where I just felt such overwhelming resonance that everything was okay, that everything would be okay. And I just knew it. I realized that the divine really was this limitless love that surrounded me. I realized I was a creator and I could flow that to anything. I realized I wasn't alone. I wasn't here to check things off a list. I realized I could look back in my journaling and trust. I learned how to trust that everything was working out because it always had, even when it didn't look like it would. I could see how even my traumas and disappointments had created these big openings for me to evolve and grow. And so I stopped setting these really rigid, super specific goals for my life. I started focusing on setting goals of daily upliftment. What can I do on an everyday basis to like uplift myself? I started practicing radical acceptance. I started relaxing. I started allowing the dots I was connecting in my journaling to change the way I showed up in the world. The clarity with which I was starting to think, I would start speaking. The ideas, divine downloads I would get while I was writing, I would speak out into the world, or I would just write into an article and post it anywhere, and the right people would start calling me. That is how most of the things you've seen on the preceding slides worked. My fitness pal called me. Lightspeed Venture Partners called me, all of them based on either something they had seen me write or, someone had seen me speak somewhere. I started to get to really practice this life of radical, full-blown self-expression. And I started to feel good. I was like soothed and relaxed. And my decisions were so much easier in life because I would work them out on the page. And sometimes working them out just meant getting a resounding feeling of yes or no. And I started to practice following that inner guidance. So from 2010 about on, I started to integrate these spiritual and practical approaches to life. I had a series of what I call BABs, big ass breakthroughs. This book is an example. I wrote the first draft of this book, The Grindy Hard Way that everyone writes. It took me 6 months, hated it, scrapped it, took a break. Like this is some of the rhythm of creation I now teach in the school. I took a break. I took a trip, I changed my scene a little bit, started having some conversations with people in real life, started really doubling down on my practice, writing every morning, and then allowing my book writing to flow from my journal right after my journal writing. The second draft of my book I wrote in 6 weeks, and it has 5 stars on Amazon. It's actually, I used to say, last year I was saying this is the best thing I've ever written. However, I've since written better things in the School of Upliftment. In their everyday daily ritual emails. So that's going to be one of the next books, is compiling some of that stuff. But yeah, I traded in the hard way for the allowing way, the way of flow. ease and flow, inviting and receiving my divine downloads, and then milking them for what it's worth, allowing the twists and turns of life to occur, and allowing it to feel more like, instead of I'm just at the whim of fate, allowing myself to see that a divine path was actually lighting up step by step before me. So I didn't need to plan a rigid, super improbable, frankly, plan for my life. So, for a while I thought it was just for me, this mix of spiritual and practical tools, until in my business world, the CEOs and CMOs and entrepreneurs I was working with started to pretty consistently say they valued the things I would tell them in our spare time together about practices almost more than the marketing work I did. So that is, and in meditation one day, I got a divine download to start the school, and that's how we come to be here. So these are just a few of the intentions that I have had over the years that became my real life as in response to my spiritual strategies, all of these things that I've just talked about. And it doesn't just work for me. So now in the school, I've had people in it since last summer, and my students have also started to experience a lot of life change. Aparna changed, she was an attorney, she changed jobs. Sheila talks about how her inner peace and joy have soared 1,000%. We'll share more of their stories later, but for now, while we already did our takeaways from the challenge, I want to talk to you really just about two more things. I want to share with you why we need spiritual self-care, and I want to share with you what comes next after the challenge, and then I'll talk to you about this. We did that already. Okay, so why we need spiritual self-care. In order to really, the best way I've come up with so far of talking with people about spiritual self-care is to tell them this little story I love that I learned. It's about a topic, a concept I learned about last year when I was in Spain on a trip. I like to take trips. I just got back from Malaysia a couple of days ago, actually. So with my students, I share all the time, like what I'm learning and what I'm seeing and downloading while I'm on these trips. So this concept it comes from the world of bullfighting, which is weird. And let me just preface this with, I am a devout, loyal animal lover. I like this story in part because it's the story of how the bull gets to win. So this concept in bullfighting is called the querencia. Querencia comes from querer, which is the Spanish infinitive for to desire. To understand the querencia, you have to think about a bull and how it must feel in the ring. In the ring, a bull is 100% on the defensive. It is 100% in reaction mode, reacting out of its circumstances, reacting to being trapped, reacting to being poked and prodded. It's reacting out of fear and rage. And as powerful as a bull is, the bull is at its least powerful, just like us, when most of its actions are reactions. But during any given bullfight, there is a place in the ring where the bull can take a pause, take what we call a sacred pause, take a momentary, and find like a temporary momentary home, kind of a refuge, a place of safety where he can take a moment, stop reacting, and tap back into its natural strength and power. This spot in the ring and in the bull's mind is called the querencia. It's a little like the bull's version of the flow state. If you've ever heard of the flow state, either raise your hand or say yes in the chat. If you haven't heard of the flow state, maybe just drop in, tell me about flow, Tara, into the chat. So I'll know how much I need to tell you and what I can skip over. I only saw a couple of hands raised. So if you guys do, okay, I see people saying, tell us about flow. Awesome. Here's where things really get interesting. All right. The bullfighters say that if the bull takes a moment to pause, recalibrate, stop reacting, and tap back into its true power, this incredible transformation takes place and it becomes unstoppable. Literally, they say you need to get out of the bull's way if it finds its querencia, because in that moment, it will just begin to do what it was created to do, which is to go through anything that stands in front of it. I believe that you and I are like that bull. Exactly. Go bull. I believe that you and I are just like that bull. Every day we face this constant onslaught of calendar obligations, family obligations, work obligations, relationship obligations, digital chaos, toxic headlines. It's very easy to find ourselves living most of our lives in reaction mode. either in reaction mode to the incoming demands or dealing with the weight of a lifetime of self-criticism for not being able to keep up with all the demands. These are the running sort of internal scripts that keep us playing small. So what I call spiritual self-care and what I call inner well-being, taking care of your soul, involves developing rituals and practices like writing every day, but not limited to writing every day. These practices that take you back to your place in the ring, just like that bull, back into flow state or flow mode every day. See, you and I are creators. So I said earlier, I'm a creator of SoulTour and of the school, but all of it, every human is a creator. We all have the ability to have a thought or an idea about something that doesn't exist and to turn it into something that does exist in a way other people can touch and taste and smell and interact with, right? That is creating. So since that is our divine collective purpose, it's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be like blocks and stuck and oh my gosh, and I don't know what to do and confusion and fuzzy and all of that. So but we were made to create and to create in flow. What I'm talking about are just practices to get you back into that flow regularly, then consistently, and maybe almost all the time, all right? Now, before we talk about how like actually invite and continue that flow if you started it, I want to just share with you that just because a couple people asked for clarity, 2 things about what the flow state is. So the flow state, there's flow state and flow mode, 2 different things. Flow state is a thing like in the literature. Flow mode is my creation I'll talk to you about. So flow state is just a way of being and operating while you work or while you create. It's characterized by intense, joyous focus, by deep concentration, by masterful creative output. When you're in the flow state, the dots just connect effortlessly. Your timing is perfect. You're brilliant. And you create brilliant things. If you have heard about flow mode, you've probably heard it's very easy to lose track of time when you're in the flow state. It's easy to lose track of time when you're in the flow state. Let's see. Distractions can't even touch you when you're in the flow state. You're just purely creating for the joy of it, whatever it is that you're creating. So you hear a lot of talk about how certain master writers and musicians will operate in flow mode, but anyone can, whatever it is that you create. You can be in flow state as you're teaching your preschool class or as you're, you know, frankly, you'll probably get into flow state as you're taking a run, etc. Now, the other type of flow I like to include in this conversation is less intense, but in some ways more valuable because it can be sustained. So that I call it flow mode, and that's like a way of living, a steady way of being in which you can bring your ideas to life and turn your thoughts into things and do your creative work without blocks, without running into stuck, and with the fun and joy and efficiency of inspired action instead of every time you want to create something resorting to nose to grindstone or hard hustle or shaming or judging yourself to make things happen in the way that our world prizes. World domination, you hear. We have a little bit of a burnout culture thing happening here, like a value for burnout. I am a contrarian. We are going to do things a really different way in our time together, guys. So that's the goal of that's sort of the goal of spiritual self-care, is to help you stay in the flow state as often, get in the flow state anytime you want to, and live in flow mode as consistently as possible. Because you are a creator, that's your divine inheritance. You have a pipeline of inspiration that's always trying to get to you, and nothing can turn it off. But we close the pipeline when we give into fear and anxiety and scarcity and unworthiness, when we censor or repress ourselves or just live in a lot of chaos. Even when we complain over and over again or practice rehearsing in our minds old grudges and grievances. But you can open the pipeline too. And you open the pipeline you can open it with physical movement, is one I never put on the slide. I don't know why. You can also open it by dechaosing your nervous system and recalibrating every day, releasing resistance, practicing radical acceptance of your life and who you are, upgrading your scarcity and unworthiness stories, and starting to live in a state of total trust and self-expression. Wholeheartedly engaging with the things that used to scare you and just opening your heart to feel and receive and be love. So my writing journey was a journey of opening the pipeline. Writing for me went from being an activity that I did as part of a morning ritual, that just to like ground and reset myself and get energized for the day. Then evolved into being like a tool that I could use, like a mental delete button I could push to clear things away. A way I learned of getting into the flow state on demand. So like I said, when I was writing my book, every morning I would get up and write my daily writing, and then I would just continue writing into the book. I started to use it to metabolize my experiences in life, to learn what I was going to keep and take away from, and what I was going to discard after different experiences. And now it's become more like my oxygen. It is like fuel. It is nourishing and delicious. It's not a chore or a habit. I take a journal with me everywhere. Sometimes I always journal in the morning. Sometimes I'll journal before bed too, just to clear that space. I journal everywhere I go in the world, and I have beautiful memories of myself now writing everywhere. It's also given me the superpower of creating whatever I want quickly on demand. Because in my writing is where I start to get my divine downloads, and it's also where I get the energy to start acting on them and to milk them for all they're worth. So let's talk about your writing journey. That's my writing journey. Let's talk about your writing journey and what your next steps can be. All right, the first is this. I want to invite each and every one of you to take a sacred pause at this moment in time. It could be a 10-minute sacred pause. It could be tomorrow, or it could be the day after the challenge, the writing that you do the day after the challenge. Take a moment and just metabolize your experience. Ask yourself, what did I learn during this challenge that I want to keep, that nourishes me, that will help provide fuel for my journey? And what do I want? What came up that I'm ready to release? All right, take a sacred pause and metabolize your experience. The next thing I want you to do is start practicing radical acceptance. I want you to start practicing radically accepting your journey in life, your growth through life, your path even with this challenge. If you haven't written anything yet, if you've written only one day or 3 days, start learning to allow your journey to take place and unfold the way that it will take place. So that's practicing radical acceptance, but it's also practicing a trust in divine order and divine timing. Start practicing the trust that things will work out for you. Start practicing pronoia, right? Looking for all the blessings that are trying to chase you down and overtake you. All right. Oh, and if Sabrina, would you mind dropping the link to Radical Acceptance, the book, into the chat? Thank you, my dear. There is a book called Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach that is brilliant and has actual steps. So Sabrina will drop the link into the chat box in just a sec. The third thing is just to keep writing. One of the beautiful ways I like to use, and I do challenges for all kinds of things, guys. I did a dating challenge once. I'll tell you about it one day. I make my challenges up and I do them. I did 10,000 kettlebell swings once. I did a dating challenge once. I did a church challenge. Just keep writing. The beauty of challenges is that they give you that little intensive boost and help up front of building the habit, but then you can keep doing it or keep what you loved about it. Maybe you want to keep writing to prompts. Maybe you want to keep writing to free writing. There's no, you're on a roll. Many of you I can hear are on a roll. So I'm hoping that you've gotten hooked a little bit on the relief and the shifts and the calm and the space you've created with this practice just over 10 days so that you don't ever stop. I see. We got folks on a roll here. It's a new tool. I'm hoping I equipped you with a new tool to regulate your own nervous system and process any experience in your life in real time if you need to. It's also a new tool that you can use every day as you're trying to to create something or make a transformation in your life. So how you can keep on writing, some of you are just on a roll and you can just keep writing. Some of you may want to keep getting prompts from me. If you do, that's something the people in the School of Upliftment actually get an email from me 6 days a week. Every 6 days a week, I'm guiding them through a morning ritual. 5 of those days are getting new writing prompts. The thing is, if you join the school, you also get access to the entire archive of prompts. It's probably, it's hundreds of prompts at this point. Of past writing prompts. So yes, you've seen 10, but there are hundreds of prompts in this archive and you get access to them if you join the school. And you also get me prompting you every day. So this is where my spiritual side and my practical side come together. What I know from my work at MyFitnessPal and on behavior changing products in the past is that just having someone, a real person, drop you a note every day prompting you to do something makes it much more likely that you'll do it. All right, so even if all you're wanting to do is free write, some people in the school actually use the prompts as more of like a daily devotion almost, and then they freely write. So there's all kinds of ways you can personalize it. 4 is to use your writing habit as a creation and transformation lever. You know, what we like to do in the school is we sit in meditation before we write, and often we'll sit with a focus on a couple of words or a visual that invites inspiration. So we may sit with I'm open or I'm willing, and we just sit. We allow the pace of our minds to slow down. We do some guided visualizations, and I send those out every day. And then in that space that you create inside, you often get your golden threads of inspiration, divine downloads. You get a good idea. You might even get a little tiny quiet nudge or hunch. Then you start writing, and you write to capture those things, but also to start moving forward on them. So let's see. Also, I wanted to share this. Anytime you have big decisions or, you know, you're trying to sort things out transformationally in your life, just writing the question that you're trying to answer at the top of your journal page, then answering, and then letting flow what needs to flow out is a great way to start moving forward on your transformational goals, whatever they are. And I know for me, as I started to, you know, move forward in my life, I needed to process some past stuff. My writing was there for that. I needed to connect some dots. I needed to learn how to have harder conversations as I was trying to learn to speak up for myself. And I was able to practice those conversations in my writing. So use your writing habits. Take another challenge. So some people will leave this challenge and go do, I've had students go do a challenge to only tell the truth or to speak up for themselves. In the school, we don't actually do writing only challenges in the school. We do challenges around like total trust, or we've done all sorts of challenges around a goal. So take another challenge if you'd like. And then you can use this season to build your baby writing habit into a full-blown daily ritual of upliftment. All right, so I will share with you a little bit about my ritual, which is I call it Creator's Hour. You sit first, then write. Always sit first and then write. This is also the ritual that I guide people through in the school. The last 2 steps are you do daily declarations, which I share, and then a moment of movement. All right. Thanks, guys. And a moment of movement is literally just that. It's like physical movement. So there are really a couple of ways you can proceed to do any of these things. To flesh out your own full-blown daily ritual, or to, you know, start writing the book that you got started on. You can proceed on your own, or you can proceed in community. And about 6 writing challenges in, I realized that people wanted more and they needed more, and that for the practice to be really deeply transformational, I needed to be able to teach more skills in more depth and bring in new teachers and help people every day of the year, not just, or, you know, every month of the year, not just during a writing challenge. Because growth happens not just in little spurts, like 10 days here or there. It happens in real, lasting transformation. So this is actually the cycle that I teach my students in the school of, like, you know, the stages it takes to change or create anything in your life. And we do them all together all year round in the school as applied in your real life, not just in an abstract or academic context. And these are the things that have happened for them. Again, Aparna changed her job. Tony also changed his job to be very inspirational. People experience calm. Their focus from the morning practice trickles out into the whole day. We're seeing people with much more self-confidence and less anxiety. So if you want to build these daily habits of inner well-being while you also change and level up your health and your wealth and your wisdom in life, I invite you to join me in the School of Upliftment. And these are sort of the 3 rallying cries that I had with my team, that my team and I had as we created this. The goal is for you to feel clear and uplifted on an everyday basis, for you to actually be change in your real life, to become your best self, not to fix or heal, to become who you really deeply are, and to learn to live with your whole heart. So the School of Upliftment is a year-long membership program, although there is a month-to-month option. And what we do there is we upgrade your thoughts and emotions and actions so you can feel great inside and make progress outside. It's like a gym membership for your inner well-being. And the sort of big pinnacles of it are guided daily rituals, supportive group coaching, and a proven growth process that is rooted in all sorts of ancient transformational wisdom. What you get in the school, actually, this slide is wrong. What you get in the school is, let's see, you do get access to a private group within the membership community. You also get 6 days a week of daily ritual emails from me. So they're like your writing prompt of the day emails, but they're, let's see if I can actually get you to a place where you can see what's in the school. Here we go. So you get daily ritual guidance every day. You get every Friday, I teach a live session that's on the topic of life focus, the life topic of focus for the month. So every month we focus on a different area of your life and we just go through your whole life in that way. Let's see, every month we also have a set of daily declarations that are very specifically built to upgrade your expectations and beliefs about your life in that area of your life. And every day you also get guidance for a few moments of physical movement. Let's see, on Saturdays, you get a sacred space email where the meditation is a little bit longer. And I also suggest a number of things for you to watch or read or stop doing this weekend to really recharge on the weekend. Let's see, am I actually sharing? There. Okay. All right, so you get your daily ritual email. You get your Saturday Sacred Space email. Everyone's first month is an on-ramp that's very gently guiding you through a spiritual status check and into the daily ritual, the fuller daily ritual beyond just writing. Again, every month we focus on a different area of your life. On most Fridays, we do a live class or group coaching session, almost always with me, sometimes also with a guest teacher. You get access to the private group of just SOU people who do tend to be awesome, if I do say so myself. We do quarterly challenges that are not writing necessarily. They are usually about how to actually do something different in your real life. And we study a different book of the month every month. So some students break down into smaller study groups. Let's see, now I'm gonna try to stop that share and share here again. All right. I know you'll love it because my students do. You can just scan through some of the things that they say. People are having more fun. They're finishing old projects. They're feeling like they're starting to lead the life they were meant to lead. The daily nature of it is very helpful to them. They're creating the lives they want. More present, more involved in my life, strengthens your soul. People love the ability to ask questions and get them answered. Let's see, I radiate in a way that is different. I'm operating my body in a whole new way. I'm sure many of you want to know how much it costs. FYI, that when I coach people individually right now, here we go with a list of what you get. When I coach people individually right now, it's $2,000 a month for 2 sessions a month. People in the school get actually 4 sessions a month with me and daily ritual guidance. So we estimate that the value of the program is about $10,000 for the year, but we actually only charge this. So Sabrina, if you could drop the registration links into the chat, that would be awesome. Your investment, if you want to buy 1 year of membership all at once, is $749. If you want to make monthly payments and go month by month, there is not a commitment, to be clear. Monthly payments are $79 a month. So that means you save about $200 or so if you join for the whole year. And you also make a commitment to yourself and make it a little bit more likely that you'll actually, stay in. But either way, whatever works for you works for us. Sabrina has put some live links to register in the chat box if you want to join the annual or the monthly. Sabrina, do you mind also putting just the overall page? There's a page we've built to show you, so you can access it for more information about the school. But if you just want to go directly to and join, and here's why you might want to do that. Actually, these are the next steps. So you'll see the order form. You'll click join now. I do offer a money back guarantee. I've literally never had anyone take me up on it because people have so much progress in the first 30 days, they feel like they've gotten their money's worth. But if you can show me that you've done the work for a year and you're not happy, I'm happy to give you a refund. Again, here's your investment, and the chat has your links. So if you think you're ready, I want to, give you this quote, which I love. I feel like this quote should be called The Beginner's Guide to the Human Soul. And no one knows who said it, but here's how it goes. You are a ghost, meaning you are soul in spirit, driving a meat-covered skeleton made of stardust, meaning your physical body is actually eternal, right? And you're a spiritual being in this physical body with all of its evolutionary and biochemical and other electrical impulses. And you, like all the rest of us, are riding this rock we call Earth that is hurtling through space. So fear nothing. This is one through line between our soul and spirit and physical body and the laws of the universe and our actions and emotions. Fear nothing. So in the first month of the school, actually the first 2 classes you take are classes in the laws of the universe and how the universe works and how we can learn to allow our lives to work in our favor a little more effortlessly. So if you have questions about the school or about anything else, drop them into the chat now or email me. You can always also email support@soultour.com, support@soultour.com. And now I'm going to actually open up the chat because I see some people have put some stuff in here. All right. And I'm also going to look at the questions just to make that were submitted. Crystal is feeling like the bull. Sabrina has, okay, awesome, great. Joellen, yes, Heather, interesting, cool. The books on the book list. So, well, it's actually part of the school. Part of what you get are my recommendations about what you should be reading. But Radical Acceptance, which Sabrina has put in, is one of them. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the ones that I've recommended a lot elsewhere. The 4 Agreements is one of them. That's actually the month 1 book is always the 4 Agreements because it's the basis of how we operate together in the school. Oh, I guess what I forgot to tell you is that there is the offer I wanted to make to you guys who did make it here live is the first 5 people who enroll in the SOU on this call get a one-on-one session with me. It's 15 or 20 minutes. I call them speed coaching sessions, but believe it or not, we actually get a lot done. And also they usually go to like 30 minutes, but still. Yeah, so Betty, so if you register, if you're in the first 5 to register, or maybe 7 to register, depending on how many people have already registered, I will, let's see, you will get a one-on-one session with me. Betty, the books include, like I said, the 4 Agreements, Radical Acceptance, The Trance of Scarcity is one. Louise Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life is one. Those are some that, aren't really super secret because I recommend them all the time anyway. All right, guys, so let's see. Let me see if I have any other Q&A. Okay, we have several. Dawn was asking if the call will be available as a recording. I'm going to say yes, we are going to make it available for 36 hours and 36 hours only. I'm going to also, let's make sure, just open up the questions. All right. Here we go. All right. Yes, people are asking about they're falling behind. Will the intention they set still work? Yes, divine timing and order. I think I probably already answered that. People are, reading books and wondering about how to, they're finding themselves wanting to combine, someone says, I'm finding myself wanting to combine Christian and Buddhist practices to resemble a spiritual life I truly enjoy, but I feel guilt. I call myself a Buddhist Black church lady because I personally actually incorporate both of those things and find no conflicts between them. So part of that process, in my experience, of creating a combined way of, this is all about following your inner guidance. It's about learning how to follow your inner guidance and learning how to connect directly with the divine and get and pray. I pray for discernment. I pray for discretion. I pray for resonance. And that has meant that some of the things I was taught as a child about God, I no longer believe. But it also has meant that my own actual connection to the divine is, you know, far and beyond what it ever was when I was just doing things because someone told me I had to, right? Let's see, someone's saying they're having a hard time. They're struggling with getting up and doing this ritual in the morning. Should they worry about that? Yes, lots of people struggle with that, so it is normal. I ask people to try to do it in the morning for the first 30 days if they can of doing a daily ritual. Just because, especially if you have like a regular hour day job, if you do it before that, you'll find your entire experience of the entire day and interacting with people is so different and much more powerful. However, it can be also very powerful to do at night to clear your mind and make it easier to sleep. So I encourage people to try to create the behavior change of doing it in the morning in the first 30 days, if that appeals to them. Some people know they're just dyed-in-the-wool evening people, so don't worry about it if you are that. If you'd like to get up earlier, I encourage people, instead of trying to start getting up, 3 hours earlier, in one day, maybe just nudge it up by 5 minutes a day and see if you can get yourself an extra 30 minutes over 6 weeks or a couple months or something to have a little morning ritual before you go to work, so you're not just like rough jumping into the day ragged. And the other thing I would just say is make sure that I teach another program called Do Your Dream. It's all about how to actually start acting on your dreams and goals and visions and intentions. And we talk a lot about this concept of a gift goal, like make sure that your writing, your daily ritual feels like you're giving yourself a gift. It should not feel, it can be challenging to build, but also exhilarating and also exciting. If you're feeling like you're trying to force yourself to do it because someone told you should or because you think you should, that's not actually a good reason to do it. Right? I'd rather you actually just got some sleep. If you decide that, you have these delicious aha moments and space creating that's happening, creative flow that's happening in you as you do this work, do it more for that reason, right? Do it more because you feel like it's going to get you closer to fulfillment, closer to clarity. It feels like you're giving yourself a gift of unrepressing yourself. Don't do it because you think you should. All right? All right, so let me just make sure I've gotten all the questions answered that were there. Does anyone else have a question they need answered? Oh, good. I will send out an email today to the people, to the first 5 people. All right, Sandy? Awesome. And and Amy is actually in the school, so she's just saying like her connection with God is much more just deep, greater since she started SOU and doing this daily ritual. All right, guys, well, that's it for us for today. I love you guys. This is awesome. It's super fun. It's one of my favorite things that I've created, and it led me down, the writing challenge led me down the path to creating the school, which is the focus of my life right now. Let me know if you guys need anything else. Always Tara@SoulTour.com, support@SoulTour.com. Feel free to continue participating in the actual, prompt. I think we have one more prompt. And we will keep that. The community is open to you all the time. There just are private spaces within it for individual programs. So like the people in the school have their own private space within it. Let's see, the package I mentioned, yes, we will send that out. Sheila. All right, guys, I love you. Take care. Have a great day. Thank you, guys.